Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Echo45 Advisors Market and Economic Update. In this video, we'll discuss the confirmation of Kevin Warsh as the new Federal Reserve Chair and what his views mean for monetary policy and how investors should think about this leadership transition. Changes at the top of the Fed naturally draw attention. After all, the Fed plays a central role in financial markets and the broader economy, and investors have followed its decisions closely for decades. From the 2008 financial crisis to recent inflationary period, Fed policy has been a constant presence in market conversations. Over the next few minutes, we'll put this leadership change in historical context, walk through some of Warsh's key policy views, and explain what it means for your portfolio. Before we discuss Kevin Warsh and his vision for the Fed, let's first zoom out and put this transition in perspective. As this chart shows, the U.S. economy has grown across many different Fed chairs, regardless of which president appointed them. Paul Volcker, Alan Greenspan, Ben Bernanke, Janet Yellen, and Jerome Powell each faced their own unique challenges, from stagflation in the 1970s and early 1980s to the global financial crisis, the pandemic, and the recent inflation surge. In each case, the economy eventually moved forward. It's also worth remembering that the Fed doesn't control everything. Economic shocks, technological change, demographics, and global events all play significant roles that the Fed can react to but cannot directly manage. So, while the Fed decisions matter, focusing too heavily on each one can cause investors to lose sight of the bigger picture. Next, let's talk about some of Warsh's key views and what they might mean in practice. Warsh is no stranger to the Fed. He served on the Board of Governors from 2006 to 2011 during the global financial crisis. In his recent Senate testimony, Warsh emphasized a preference for a more focused Fed, one with, quote, a clearer match between its powers and responsibilities, end quote. In the past, he's also been described as being an inflation hawk, meaning that he would generally prefer to keep interest rates higher to guard against rising prices. One area where Warsh has been vocal is the Fed's balance sheet, which remains large at around $6.7 trillion. As this chart shows, the balance sheet expanded significantly during the crisis periods. Warsh believes that the Fed should be symmetric, meaning that it should scale back emergency measures once crises have passed. He has argued that not doing so has helped to grow the federal budget deficit and national debt. While these are the views that Kevin Warsh has shared publicly, none of this is straightforward, especially given the current environment. Headline inflation has picked up recently due to high gasoline prices, complicating the path forward. Finally, let's talk about what all of this means for your portfolio. As this chart illustrates, the economy and markets have navigated many different monetary policy environments over the decades. Conflicts between the Fed and the White House are not new either. They've occurred under presidents from both parties, and even when the president appointed the Fed chair himself. What history consistently shows is that leadership transitions at the Fed, while they generate short-term uncertainty, rarely change the long-term fundamentals that drive financial markets. Earnings growth, productivity, innovation, and demographics are ultimately what matter most for long-term returns. The most important thing for investors is to stay focused on these long-term drivers and maintain a well-constructed financial plan, rather than reacting to every headline about Fed policy. We hope you found these insights helpful. If you would like to discuss the Fed, interest rates, or how the current policy environment might affect your portfolio in more detail, please don't hesitate to reach out. We look forward to speaking with you.